Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, esteemed colleagues, dear participants, good afternoon. It is my honor to address you today at the UK Forum on Cultural Diplomacy. As the High Commissioner of Maldives to the United Kingdom, I stand before you representing a small nation that perhaps more than most understands the critical importance of international cooperation. The Maldives, an archipelago of 1,192 islands, grouped into 26 natural atolls, stands as an independent small state, a leading tourist destination, guided by Islamic tradition, proud of our island culture in the global community. Next year, we are embarking on the 60th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Maldives and the United Kingdom. Our nation, spanning roughly 90,000 square kilometers of the Indian Ocean, yet with only 298 square kilometers of land, embodies the delicate balance of our planet's ecosystem. Our unique geography and vulnerabilities as a small island state has shaped our perspective on international cooperation. For millennia, we have been a crossroads of culture, a melting pot of the Indian Ocean, Arab and African influences. This diversity is reflected in our language, Divehi, with its roots in Sanskrit, Arabic, and Sinhalese. It is evident in our cuisine, mostly tuna, where the spices of Silk Road meet the bounty of the Indian Ocean. And it resonates in our island music, where the rhythms of our traditional drums echo the heartbeat of a nation that has always looked outward. As a small island developing state, the Maldives has long recognized the critical importance of international cooperation. This can be most notably recognized through our journey in multilateral diplomacy, particularly through the United Nations and the Commonwealth. Since joining the UN in 1965 as the smallest member state and the Commonwealth in 1982, the Maldives has consistently been active in international relations. We have successfully shown that small states can be powerful advocates and also discourse for global issues. Climate leadership. At the UN, the Maldives has been at the forefront of climate diplomacy. As a nation facing an existential threat from climate change, Maldives raised the environmental challenges at the UN General Assembly in 1987, highlighted as the death of the nation, and became one of the first to warn the world about the dangers of sea level rise. This resulted in the formation of the Alliance of Small Island States, a very powerful negotiating bloc in multilateral diplomacy in 1990 that constitutes to champion the voices of small island developing states facing similar existential threats. Human rights advocacy. Maldives played a pivotal role at the UN Human Rights Council. We have served in the membership Office of the Human Rights Council several times, advocating for the universal rights, the special needs of small states, and as a powerful voice in the OIC as the Islamic countries. Sustainable development. Through the Commonwealth, we've been instrumental in pushing for the sustainable development of small states. The Commonwealth Small States Center of Excellence, which we actively support, is a testament to our commitment to South-South cooperation. The Maldives President, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Muiz, has actually co-chaired the Antigua SIDS4 conference recently in May. Maritime security. Our strategic location has made us a key player in the Indian Ocean geopolitics and security discussions. Through the Indian Ocean Rim Association and UN Fora, we have advocated for a rule-based maritime order and that respects the rights of all nations, regardless of the size. Our national identity, culture, a set of values, and international law-abiding principles are promoted to bring goodwill, respect, and credible reputation in the international community. This approach allows us to leverage our unique heritage and commitment to global norms as powerful diplomatic tools, enhancing our influence far beyond what our physical size might be. Physical sight might suggest. We also have been consistently active in the international relations. We would also like to highlight that, moreover, the exercise of cultural diplomacy to project our national identity and reputation enhances the soft power diplomacy of small states like the Maldives. In an interconnected world where military might and economic size are not the only measures of influence, soft power becomes a critical asset. Through cultural diplomacy, we can shape perceptions, build alliances, and influence global narratives in ways that amplify our voice on the international stage, and also to promote tolerance and coexistence. Our diplomatic efforts underscore a crucial point in the realm of international cooperation. It's not the size or the military power of the nation that matters, but the strength of its ideas and the authenticity of its voice. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, from the ongoing tensions in the Red Sea affecting our vital shipping lanes to the recent G20 summit discussions on AI governance, the need for nuanced, culturally informed diplomacy has never been greater. Some of the unprecedented challenges that the Maldives has faced have underscored the critical importance of international cooperation. Firstly, climate change. As a low-lying country with an average elevation of 1.5 meters above sea level, the Maldives is highly vulnerable to the climate change. Recent studies highlight that Maldives faces significant challenges from rising sea levels, increased frequency of extreme weather events, coastal erosion, and ocean acidification. These threats endanger not only our land and infrastructure, but also our entire way of life, our culture, and very existence as a nation. Although the exact loss and damage figures are subject to ongoing research, some projections suggest that large portions of our islands would become uninhabitable within the decades if global warming continues unchecked. This stark reality underscores why the Maldives remains at the forefront of advocating for urgent and ambitious global climate action. Economic resilience. Tourism remains a cornerstone of our economy, contributing around 30% to our GDP. Recognizing the need for economic diversification, the Maldives is actively working to expand its economic base. Our National Resilience and Recovery Plan 2023 to 2028 highlights comprehensive strategies for economic diversification and sustainable development, including enhanced investments in fisheries and sustainable agriculture. Maritime security. In 2019, the Maldives proudly joined the Indian Ocean Conference on Maritime Security, which gathered representatives from over 13 nations. These challenges and initiatives illustrate why cultural diplomacy is not a luxury, but a necessity for the Maldives. It is the foundation upon which we build meaningful international partnerships. Allow me to elaborate on key strategies in which we can leverage cultural diplomacy to promote international cooperation. First, leveraging cultural heritage and social harmony. The Maldives, with its historical blend of South Asia, Middle Eastern, and African influences, exemplifies a homogeneous society speaking one language, the race as Maldivian. We use our rich marine biodiversity and island culture as diplomatic tools to raise global awareness about climate resilience. By collaborating with the international partners like UNESCO, we are not only preserving our marine world heritage, but also demonstrating how culture can be an asset in promoting social harmony and cooperation in the global community. 2, education and arts as bridges for diplomacy. We are expanding our diplomatic training efforts, collaborating with international partners to enhance our capabilities in areas crucial to small island states such as climate change negotiation and sustainable development. Beyond formal education, we are fostering cultural exchanges through art exhibitions, musical performances, and educational programs. These initiatives break down barriers, foster empathy, and allow us to see the world through each other's eyes, promoting mutual respect and cooperation on a global scale. 3, climate change advocacy and adaptation. As a nation on the front lines of climate change, we are turning our vulnerability into a platform for global advocacy. We are sharing our experiences and adaptation strategies with the world, demonstrating innovative approaches to climate resilience that can benefit other vulnerable nations. Through international partnerships, we were developing and implementing cutting-edge adaptation technologies from artificial reefs to protect against the coastal erosion to sustainable practices for resilient infrastructure. By showcasing these efforts, we aim to inspire global action and emphasize the urgent need for international cooperation in addressing climate change. 3, digital diplomacy for global reach and cultural exchange. In our interconnected world, we are harnessing the power of technology for cultural diplomacy. We are exploring digital platforms to share our culture and environmental challenges with a global audience. This includes developing a virtual reality tour, online language exchanges, and digital art collaborations. The Maldives pioneered the concept of virtual diplomacy by inaugurating the world's first embassy in metaverse platform Second Life, an initiative that other nations have since embraced. These innovative approaches bring cultures closer together, transcending geographical boundaries and offering unprecedented opportunities for cultural exchange and mutual understanding. 4, sustainable tourism as cultural exchange. The Maldives brand, known as the sunny side of Maldives, is recognized by the international community. Our tourism industry, a cornerstone of our economy, serves as a powerful tool for cultural diplomacy. By promoting ecotourism and cultural immersion experiences, we are turning visitors into ambassadors of the world through ambassadors of our culture and environmental causes. This approach is not only diversifying our economy, but also creates personal connections and transcend traditional diplomatic channels. 5, ocean diplomacy and maritime cooperation. The Maldives is positioning itself as a leader in ocean diplomacy. This involves not just environmental protection, but also promoting maritime cooperation, sustainable fishing practices, and marine research collaborations. By hosting international conferences on ocean health and maritime security, we are bringing together diverse stakeholders and fostering cooperation on issues critical to island nations and coastal communities. 6, youth engagement and traditional knowledge. We are emphasizing on the role of young Maldivians in shaping our diplomatic future through youth ambassador programs and international student exchange. Simultaneously, we are combining traditional ecological knowledge with modern science in our climate adaptation strategies, providing a model for other nations facing similar challenges and showcasing how cultural heritage can inform contemporary solutions. Cultural diplomacy isn't just a fancy term. It's our lifeline to the world. It's how we, a small nation, make our voice heard on the global stage, how our footprints have impacted in the international community. Cultural diplomacy plays a pivotal role in fostering the much-needed cooperation. It serves as a bridge connecting nations through shared experiences, mutual understanding, and respect for diverse traditions. In an era marked by global challenges, cultural diplomacy can be the foundation upon which we build stronger together and more resilient international relationships. The spirit of unity is what we must bring to the global stage. In closing, I'm reminded of the words of our President, His Excellency Dr. Mohammad Muiz, at the World Government Summit this February. Quote, even though Maldives may be considered a small country compared for our culture and environmental cause, sorry, let me just read the quote again. His Excellency President Dr. Mohammad Muiz at the World Government Summit this February has stated, quote, even though Maldives may be considered a small country compared to the rest of the countries, the Maldives is huge in terms of the strategic geographic position it holds and its unrivaled natural beauty and the vast ocean resource, unquote. Let me embrace the vision. Together we can create a world where cooperation isn't just a goal, but our shared reality. I urge all nations and friends and stakeholders here today to redouble our efforts in cultural diplomacy. Let us build bridges, not walls. Let us seek understanding, not divisions. And let us work together to create a world where cooperation triumphs over conflict. Thank you.
As I've said, I've encroached into your lunchtime, so are there any questions? Anybody? For the Maldives? No questions?
Yes, God bless you, that's excellent.
Thank you very much.
Is one of the great place in the world, and thank you very much, and God bless you. And I commend your organization and, of course, the government, which is doing a great job for the cultural diplomacy. I have no question because I know it very well, and bless you all, God bless you all. As the Imam or Sheikh of the Oxford, I bless you all. Thank you very much, and salam.
So thank you very much. Sorry. Yes?
He said, in my opinion, I visited the Maldives last year. Last year, I visited the Maldives. So for me, it's the main of cultural diplomacy. So it's not a small country. It's huge in terms of cultural diplomacy. Then when the extreme beauty is combined by the kindness of people, that's what we need to be a very good image of cultural understanding. Thank you, ma'am, for your speech. It's great.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So,
hi, thank you, and thank you very much for your talk, Your Excellency. I want to make the comment. I'm happy to hear about your youth ambassadorship exchanges. That exchange is worth so much. You can't put a monetary value on it. Please ensure that that does not stop. That program is really invalid. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
so